Versatile Mage. Chapter 287. The Pseudomorphing Demon Beast Seed. For some reason, the little coach pendant was in high spirits when Mo Fan first arrived at the administration building. Mo Fan had only decided to stay outside after planning to look for the thing that had excited the little coach pendant. To his surprise, the terrifying series of events took place before he had the chance to search the place. Besides, a group of hunters was recently eliminated inside the administration building. Was it a coincidence that they had come to the administration building? If so, why were they here in the city in the first place? Was it because they had discovered something valuable? Did they really think Mo Fan would choose to leave the team because he was pissed off at those idiots? He was only planning to investigate what the place was hiding. However, all that remained were a pile of debris and wilted vines. He had no idea where the thing that the hunters were looking for would be. During this situation, the little coach pendant once again resolved a huge problem for Mo Fan. As it was vibrating vigorously, it was also emanating a unique glow. The strength of the glow served as an indication of the distance between Mo Fan and the object. Inside the dark collapsed hall, Mo Fan weaved through the wreckage on his own. Since he had the shadow element, he was not worried about the ceiling collapsing on him. As he proceeded to the hall on his left, he saw a long passage stacked up with barren rocks. The entire path was almost blocked off, and the top was sealed off by the dead vines. If it weren't for fleeing shadow, it would be impossible for Mo Fan to make his way through. Suddenly, a supporting beam that was on the verge of shattering collapsed and fell right onto Mo Fan. He let out a curse and swiftly dodged the incoming disaster with a tumble. He did manage to dodge the beam, but it did not feel great when the dust blew onto his face. The glow from the little loach pendant had grown even stronger, which implied that he was getting closer to the treasure. Mo Fan continued to take a few steps forward and realized that the glow had actually grown weaker. He took a few steps backward, and saw the glow becoming stronger, before falling again. Ah, this is it. Is it below me? Mo Fan lowered his head and discovered that down was the correct way. Swift Star Wolf. Mo Fan opened a moonlit path and summoned the beast to him. The gallant and high-spirited Swift Star Wolf arrived from the other dimension. He let out a bright howl while unleashing his warrior-level aura toward the surroundings, totally displaying his pride as a king of wolves. However, when the Swift Star Wolf finally thought he was called here for an epic battle, his heartless master said, "Dig up this place." The Swift Star Wolf was totally left speechless. A warrior-level summoned beast was being ordered to be a digger. What a total waste of his talents. But, the Swift Star Wolf's claws were incredibly sharp, and so were very efficient when it came to digging. The cement ground was shattered with a few gouges, and in just a few minutes, a huge pit appeared in front of Mo Fan. "Keep it up." Mo Fan jumped into the pit and discovered the glow from the little loach pendant became brighter. A while later, the roots of the pseudomorphing demon beast began to surface. It was hard to tell how much area the roots actually covered underground. Luckily, the dead roots were no match for the Swift Star Wolf's claws. It continued to rip through the roots. Strange, it looks like the roots are wrapped around something. Mo Fan realized something was out of place. The Swift Star Wolf seemed to be aware of it, too. It quickened its digging speed, and the soil was hurled everywhere. After the roots were dug up, a wide space was discovered, which was empty apart from a floating green light. It was difficult to tell what it actually was. The Swift Star Wolf was rather impatient. He scooped out with his claw and retrieved the little glowing light from the space, which he presented to Mo Fan. The wolf was waiting for him to acknowledge his hard work. Mo Fan grabbed it and stared at it in confusion. Its appearance was similar to a glowing pea. Mo Fan inspected it while murmuring, "What the heck is this? A glowing green pea? No, this isn't right. Why would the roots be hiding a pea?" Suddenly, a flash flickered in his mind as his expression rose with joy. A seed. Ah, it must be a seed. But what kind of seed is it? Oh my, it must be the seed of the pseudomorphing demon beast. The pseudomorphing demon beast's strength is utterly terrifying when it matures. This seed must be similar to a beast's youngling, which means it can be fostered by a summoner. Mo Fan's spirits instantly rose. He had witnessed the capabilities of a pseudomorphing demon beast with his own eyes. It was almost unbeatable among warrior-level demon beasts. Therefore, he expected the seed to possess incredible value. I'll take it back. I'm sure that I can sell it off at an insane price. Mo Fan slowly stored the seed of the pseudomorphing demon beast away. Although Mo Fan was a summoner himself, and he had yet to decide on a contracted beast after he reached the intermediate level, the pseudomorphing demon beast could be considered an option once it gained its self-awareness. However, the pseudomorphing demon beast was quite special. Mo Fan was not too much of a fan for things that took root. The best way was to sell it, then use the money to bid for some suitable younglings at the auctions. Mo Fan felt incredibly pleasant after finding such valuable loot for the summoning element. Mo Fan had almost gone bankrupt after spending all his savings on the evolving materials for the summoning element. He also still had a shadow element soul seed on his to-buy list, and its price was even higher than a lightning element soul seed. Mo Fan was clueless of where he would get the money from, but he had now found this seed. Apart from the soul seed, the contracted beast would also require a huge investment. There were not many beasts younglings being sold on the market. A servant class youngling would cost between 1 million to 2 million RMB. The warrior level younglings were even crazier, with a starting price of at least 20 million RMB. Regardless of their lineage, they were basically sold instantly most of the time. The pseudomorphing demon beast would have a rather high lineage among the warrior-level demon beasts, but it was hard to tell if a plant-type demon beast would be valuable to the summoners. At least, Mo Fan was not too fond of it himself. I should go back to the investigation point to pretend I'm working, just so they won't find it out. Mo Fan was perfectly content with the discovery. He jumped onto the Swift Star Wolf's back and headed straight to his destination. The Swift Star Wolf's speed was outstanding. The streets were overgrown with weeds and crowded with abandoned vehicles. The Swift Star Wolf was able to run easily along the roofs of the vehicles. Dilapidated buildings on both sides were quickly left behind, and the wind from the running inflicted a slight pain on Mo Fan's ears. At such a rate, he would arrive at the inspection point in no time. It was impossible for them to just sit at a spot and count the number of demon beasts nearby. The inspection involved placing a beacon that released a unique sonar wave at the specified location, and protecting it for 3 hours. The beacon would be able to collect the data needed regarding the disposition of the demon beasts. On a side note, the sonar wave being emitted from the beacon was not perfectly stable. As such, certain types of demon beasts would be able to sense it. There was no guarantee that the beacon would still remain intact after 3 hours if it was left unguarded. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.